What is happening, hipcats? This is your good buddy, Jon the Commentator. And if I may drop the kayfabe for just a second, I only just found out that PowerWash Simulator 2 exists, so we are gonna crack into that. We must have done a really good job last time, because that person whose grubby van we powerwashed must have given some word of mouth, and now we are powerwashing this filthy truck. And as you can see, I have got myself this sweet powerwashing gun that looks like it's some kind of sci-fi space laser. So I can be all like, freeze, space cops, you're under, I don't know, space arrest. I will let you off with a warning just this once, but if you don't fix the tail light on that spaceship, ooh, you are going to be in a world of trouble, mister. And as you can see, we are doing a lovely smiley face. I'm still getting used to the new controls and how everything moves, so bear with me, folks. We made a cool $30 last time power washing that van, but for this, we are getting paid a princely sum of I nearly switched back here's something new, folks. Check this out. Soap. Some thoughtful person has left us with a soapy water attachment. And as you can see, I've still got my superpowers of seeing dirt and making it glow. Apparently there was some kind of freak electrical storm, and since I was the last one that got there, all the good superpowers were gone. And instead, I have the superpower to see dirt, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We are gonna make this dirty old van absolutely sparkle. Possibly even literally. But make no oh yes, they have kept that sound, and I love that sound. I don't know the scientific or psychological explanation for it, but there is something about that sound that just tickles those reward centers in your brain. I absolutely live for that sound, and this is the life we have chosen. Or at the very least, the life we have chosen to keep busy until the next Linwood Wrestling Legends show. And if you didn't check out last week's Mystery Box PLE, why the hell not? We had some really great wrestling with some top-notch commentary, if I do say so myself. And I think the best thing to do would be to use this soap to get all that glass squeaky clean. And if there's anybody watching this that actually power washes for a living, I'm very curious to know, how often do you have to jump to reach the dirty places? And strangely enough, this time around, we have been given the ability to sprint. I can't imagine when that is ever going to be useful. Like, oh my god, I've got to hurry, otherwise, it's still going to be dirty when I get there. And just look at that soap going to work on all those layers of grime. It kind of begs the question, why can't we just use soap everywhere? That would make sense. But sometimes the power washing game doesn't make sense. Much like pro wrestling, sometimes it's best not to question the magic. And oh, look at that, I can see the reflection of the trees. That is really beautiful. I can almost taste that $60 we are gonna make. And make no mistake, folks, I have big plans for that $60. First thing I'm going to do is purchase 3 kilos of the fancy dog food from Animates. That'll run us about $40, so that leaves us $20 with which to get funky. We can use that $20 to buy 6 bottles of off-brand cola, and still have a couple of bucks left to do God only knows what in this economy. And there is something written under all that dirt, but I can't read it, and it's driving me crazy. I have to know what it said. Oh, look at that. I think it says Jessica's. That must be who owns this van. Clearly, Jessica is the one paying us $60 to make this bad boy sparkle. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to disappoint Jessica. This is only my second gig, and I really need that word of mouth. I cannot overemphasize how important it is that people can tell this is Jessica's van. That way, if anybody's out and they see somebody who's not Jessica driving, they can be all like, I'm gonna call the space cops. They're gonna show up with their laser squirty guns and put you in space jail. You'll have to go to space court first, but it's an election year and the space judge is gonna want to make an example out of you. And you wouldn't want that now, would you? And just completely apropos of nothing, I have been rewatching Community lately. Man, that is such a great show. And I gotta say, Senor Chang is possibly the greatest fictional character ever created. Prove me wrong, folks. Prove me wrong. And it also ties into one of the greatest lines I have ever heard in any TV show. When Dean Pelton says, If an Asian man tells you he's a Spanish teacher, it's not racist to ask for proof. Whoever came up with that zinger deserves whatever kind of award they give writers. And we are absolutely not stopping until we make these hubcaps shiny. People may try to stop us, but I would like to see them try. But you know how it is, folks. The city council doesn't want anybody having shiny hubcaps. I think it's some kind of safety thing. But because nobody in the city council is watching this channel, we can make those hubcaps as shiny as we like. If hubcaps weren't meant to be shiny, they would all be made with a matte finish. But these ones are going to be very shiny indeed. And look at that, we can see the reflection of the background of those hubcaps. I think that is a job well done. And now that I think about it, shouldn't there be some kind of dirt runoff on the ground? This is another one of those times you shouldn't question the magic of power washing. Oh, it says something on the license. What does it say? I'm not going to be able to sleep until I find out. And because I purchased that step ladder with my own money, I can put it any damn where I like. 810, what the hell does that mean? As far as personalized plates go, that is absolute rubbish. And if I were Jessica, I'd be looking to trade that in for something snappier. It feels like everybody and their dog has a personalized plate these days, which is why I've never felt the urge to get one. I'm perfectly happy with the random sequence of numerals and letters issued to me by the NZTA. And if anything, I think that makes me more of an individual than somebody with a personalized plate. And now that we've peeled away a few layers of grime, we can see that Jessica's is an antiques and collectibles business. Maybe if I do a really good job with this power wash, she'll give me something really cool, like, I don't know, a sword maybe. That would be rad. I'm struggling to think what else I could possibly want from an antique shop, so my mind always goes to sword. And by sword, I mean a big old Scottish claymore. Make no mistake, folks, katanas are for neckbeards. A lot of hay gets made over Japanese steel smithing, but to be honest, you can find comparable quality in swords made in Toledo, Spain or Damascus, Syria. Those two places were also renowned for the quality of their steel. Just a little useless trivia for you. And like I said, folks, I am still very much feeling my way around this new control scheme. I don't know why they had to go and change a bunch of things, but it is confusing the hell out of me. In a real power washing situation, you got a split second to react, so this just isn't gonna cut it. If you make a bad call and choose the wrong attachment, you could add valuable seconds to your finishing time, and that is just not gonna do. If we were getting paid by the hour, maybe that would be something to look into. But we are getting paid the same flat fee of $60 no matter what. Oh, look at that. I didn't know the back was open. But it really does make you wonder, how could somebody with an antiques business get their truck this filthy? I don't want to be judging anybody's lifestyle, but if you're looking to go off-road, perhaps this truck is not the best choice. And I certainly hope Jessica's not driving this thing off-road when she's loaded up with fragile antiques. Then again, she may be delivering those antiques to somebody who lives off the grid, and maybe she has to traverse some hazardous terrain. I have no idea how the antiques game works, but that is a good enough explanation for me. According to the numbers in the upper left, we have power washed 31% of this truck. Or at least we got it 31% clean. And I don't know about you, but that's progress. It feels a little bit like cheating using my Dirt Vision superpowers, but on the other hand, the Power Wash game is a very competitive game. I've got to use whatever edge I can get. If I'm willing to do this job for $60, there's somebody out there willing to do it for $50, so I've got to keep my game tight like LeBron on game night. And I've only just noticed this, but I can't see my feet, and it is seriously freaking me out. But once again, I am crawling on my belly like a serpent. And if you make a living power washing, I'm very curious, how often do you have to crawl on your belly like a serpent? Is that a job requirement? I'm guessing there's some sort of special forces like obstacle course and... Alright, you maggots, you're gonna have to crawl on your belly like serpents. Move, move, move. Well, at least that's how I imagine a power washing drill instructor would sound. I really have no frame of reference. And look at that, we're up to 32%. We have nearly done a third. And why is it that the underside of this truck is the only part that's not dirty? Riddle me that. And can you imagine if this video got beamed into outer space and it was the first thing aliens saw? I'd imagine they'd be all like, oh wow, their laser guns look just like ours, but their laser guns shoot water, so therefore water must have a corrosive effect on these creatures. Then if they decided to invade, they'd show up with power washers and fire hoses. I'm not saying it's likely to happen, folks, but if aliens show up to invade Earth with power washers and fire hoses, you can absolutely blame me. And if that did happen, what would be the best way to fight back? I would imagine getting as much liquid nitrogen as we can and just freezing them. It worked in Terminator 2, so it'll work there. At least that's the theory as it's playing out in my head. And as much as I hate to go poking holes in the tapestry of reality here, how come we're not seeing any of that wet dirt dribble? As a matter of fact, how come we're not seeing the water dribble? I'm calling shenanigans. This claims to be a power washing simulator, but I am seeing a whole lot of inaccuracies. Man, I sure hope somebody got fired for that. But while I remember, let's just squirt some soap everywhere. There's something deeply satisfying about those suds. Some of you perverted miscreants out there might think it looks like something else, but this is not that kind of channel, so just keep those thoughts to yourself. And if somebody pays you to power wash their dirty truck and you think of doing that to it, you should be ashamed of yourself, sir. But that's enough of that puerile filth, because we have actual filth to clean. I would really love to hear the story of how this truck came to be in its current condition, but Jessica has not seen fit to share that with me. And once again, folks, I am trying to navigate the... Oh, no, not that one. I don't know why I have this one, but this is an inferior power washing gun. If I had a 3-year-old toddler and they said, Daddy, I want to be a power washer like you, I'd hand them this particular power washer and say, go get 'em, slugger. I mean, just look at that thing, it's hideous. Some people might even say it's nature's cruelest mistake. And you know what? I might be one of them. And hey, change those nozzles and attachments all you want. You are still holding an inferior power washer. If there's one thing I've learned during my time in this power washing game, it's that the importance of your power washer's resemblance to a space laser cannot be overstated. And listen to all those satisfying dings. You would never hear that with the inferior quality power washer that we saw earlier. And folks, this may be very ambitious of me to say, but this is going to be a 3-part video odyssey. We are going to go on an epic power washing journey, we are going to learn a little something, and maybe we'll even make a few friends along the way. And when you think about it, that right there, that's the real treasure. And speaking of treasure, I wonder if I'll ever get to power wash the barnacles off a ship in dry dock. I don't know if anybody out there has ever had the pleasure of trying to remove barnacles off the hull of a ship in dry dock, but it is not fun. Take it from me that it is absolutely something you do not want to do by hand. And if you learn nothing else from this video today, I hope you learn that. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's somebody out there thinking, wow, I was going to go down to the dry dock today and take all the barnacles off the hull of the ship by hand. But then again, I saw this video and Jon the Commentator says it's whack, so nah, I'll do something else. So if I've prevented even one person from making that mistake, then I will have used my platform for some good today. And I'd like to think that being the compelling storyteller I am, after watching this video, you'll be thinking to yourself, oh my god, I have to find out what happens in part 2. Well folks, as much as I don't want to be promising you any shocking twists or surprising revelations, I promise you shocking twists and surprising revelations in the next video. Maybe we'll find out that Jessica is just a middleman. We have no idea of knowing how far and wide this antiques and collectibles thing goes. And we have no idea who's sitting all the way up at the tippity top pulling the strings. Usually those kind of questions would be way above my pay grade. But I have got way too much time on my hands until next Sunday's wrestling show. And I have always been an inquisitive sort, so we are going to get to the bottom of this one way or another, folks. Everybody works for somebody. And I think when we find out who's pulling Jessica's strings, that is going to shock and surprise us all. And seeing as I'm kind of sort of working for Jessica right now, I guess that makes me low man on the totem pole. But it's because of that, they will never see me coming. I am just gonna keep taking bigger and bigger power washing jobs and gradually work my way into the inner circle. Eventually, I'll get to a stage where I'm making like $200 for a job, and that's when I'm gonna go in there and wear a wire. Then I'll just slide up to one of my power washing contacts and be all like, "Hey, I want to speak to the top banana, and I mean the absolute grand poobah of this whole thing." And I'm sure at first they'll tell me nobody sees the grand poobah, not no way, not no how. But I will keep at it, and I will eventually wear them down with the kind of charm that only a wrestling color commentator has. And then, my friends, we are gonna get some answers. And hey, look at this, I own a ladder. Ain't that something? And because I bought this ladder with my own money, I should be able to put it wherever I like, and not just in a few pre-selected, pre-approved positions. So get out of here with your fascist ladder arranging, because much like Freddie Mercury and his bicycle, I want to put my ladder where I like. And we're gonna end it there. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate it.